Welcome to a TV Talk, The Studio, Season 1, Episode 7. The Studio is so freaking funny. If you haven't seen it yet, you don't know what it is. It's a comedy series on Apple TV Plus starring Seth Rogen as a Hollywood executive. He's the lead of a studio in Hollywood. And last week's episode, as was this week's episode, were so good. And the thing about the studio, you could watch them without having seen anything. I had someone in my life, I showed them last week's episode, I also showed them this week's. And they haven't seen the show, but they're able to, watch it and laugh, and it's just completely funny. And I think you can do that as well if you haven't started watching it already, because it's just so good and they're kind of standalone in some elements. But this week's episode was called Casting, and I saw a tweet. Someone said Seth Rogen is so funny. He's basically giving you step by step and showing you why a lot of black projects don't get greenlit. And the episode starts with the Kool-Aid movie has been greenlit. They're so excited. Ice Cube is going to be voicing the Kool-Aid Man. An executive, Catherine Hahn, actually goes up to the board and looks at the list of all these people who are on the cast, their pictures and stuff, and she's like, wait a minute, do you see it? And then executive by executive starts coming up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are we being offensive by saying the Kool-Aid Man is black and having a black man voice him? And then they get in this whole tizzy, and then they go to ask someone, they won't even say, they're asking a person of color, a younger person of color, they're like, Ice Cube is, Seth Rogen's delivering saying, Ice Cube is cube. They don't even want to say black. It's this whole thing. They're getting make sure they don't offend anybody or something like that. They get some consultants. They go to Z-Way and Lil Rel, who were guest stars in this episode, and they ask them what do you think, is this offensive or whatever. At some point they realize, okay, well, we actually need to make the whole cast black to make it not offensive. They make the whole cast black, and they're like, wait, now is this even more offensive? They go to the director and the writers, and the whole cast is black at this point, and the director's kind of okay, we have to change the whole script, and the writers are like, well, actually, we can't write for a whole black cast. It's kind of different now. We don't want to seem like we're taking a job. And then Seth Rogen's character, Matt, is like, okay, so you don't want to be seen as racist, so you limit the amount of black people you could write for, but now it's all black people. You're like, I can't do it. They're like, yeah. So they step out of the project, and then the director says, I can do it. Then he's also like, well, I'm going to have to use AI for some things. That comes up later. It's just this whole complete mess. They go to Ice Cube and ask him is this okay? He's like, well, the Kool-Aid Man is black. If you don't do it as a black person, that's even more offensive. And there's this whole thing of watching these white people get themselves basically in this tangle, trying not to offend, but also trying to hitting roadblocks when people are dropping out of the movie to write it, whatever, because they can't do it for a cast of black people. It's just this complete. I'm explaining it, but you have to just watch it to kind of just see it just unfold. It's so funny, but it's also one of those things. It's well, this is a episode, a show about studio and Hollywood and that kind of thing, and I'm certain that a lot of those rooms probably look like that when they're maybe thinking about how to do a project or not. Maybe there's these same discussions are happening by what's going on. It's just so funny. It's such a great show. If you haven't started watching it, like I said, you could just pick up and watch it at any point. Watch this through on Apple TV Plus. So good.